Now, this is gonna sound heartless, but I laughed, like right in his face. And it's just because I thought he was lying. But instead of responding to me, he just looked down, put his hand in his pocket, and pulled out a newspaper clipping. This newspaper clipping had a small picture of a young boy that resembled him, along with a long, detailed paragraph of his abduction.
I don't understand.
I know. Let me explain. Please understand that I don't remember most of this, but a lot of this was from my mom, the one that you met. Apparently, when I was 3.5 years old, technically 4, she took me to this park. It was a park that she had taken me to since I was 2 years old. She would play with me for the first 15 minutes, and then for the last 30, she would let me play by myself. That way I would get all of my energy out and be ready for a good nap later. I won't lie to you, I don't remember much of this. In fact, I don't remember any of my childhood before Janet. Janet is the woman that I've known to be my mother my entire life. Or well, since I was 13. I had grown up with her. She loved me. She took care of me. She was everything I thought a mom was supposed to be. She was a single parent, and she explained to me how my dad just kind of took off. He wasn't ready for fatherhood and he left her, and I always thought that was the reason she was so neurotic and kind of controlling. She always seemed to have a hand on me, and I assumed it was because she was afraid to lose me, like most moms would be. Now, like I said, my childhood seemed relatively normal. I went to school, I had friends, but it wasn't until I was 13 that I found something that I probably shouldn't have.
What did you find?
He looked over to my hands where I was gripping the newspaper clipping and nodded. And one day, my mom asked me to get something out of her room. And I've always known Janet to be a smoker, but she promised me that she would stop. Every time she would smoke a cigarette, I would just say 6 minutes, because it's a proven fact that smoking a cigarette takes 6 minutes off your life. It was our little thing. So when I found a small shoebox under her bed in her room, I assumed that cigarettes were what I was going to find. But as a 13-year-old, my curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. And inside was this. In fact, there were 4 newspaper clippings, all of them with a picture of a boy that looked like me. When I finally brought the picture to Janet's attention, at first, she was livid, claimed that I was snooping around and not trusting her, and she punished me. She locked me in my room, wouldn't let me come out for hours. Then finally she came to talk to me, and she told me the story about my adoption. Now, even though I believed her and I loved her, there was still a part of me that felt like that wasn't true. So, I showed the newspaper clipping to my closest friend, and he, in turn, showed his mother. And after realizing it wasn't some kind of a joke, his mother called the police. The police came to my house, and they arrested my mom. I was confused. Why are they arresting her? What is going on? It wasn't until after sitting over 3 hours in a police precinct that someone finally told me the truth. They explained to me that I was not adopted. I was stolen, and that my real mother had been looking for me for years. She never stopped. She fell into a depression. My father couldn't deal with it, and he left. In fact, he blamed her. Said that if she wasn't so consumed with her work, then she would have noticed someone take me away. I will never forgive him for that. Ever. When my mom finally got there, they gave me the option to go with her. I could either go to foster care until I aged out, or I could go back with my mom, my actual mom. When I asked them about Janet, they refused to tell me anything. It wasn't until years later that I decided to go and visit her. I wanted the truth. That's when I found out everything.